Hey, what's going on YouTube? Antayami here with a video on Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. A game basically with add-on from the original Mario Kart 8 for the Wii U. Adding on some some new things and new features. So we're going to dive into that with a couple of analyzations from what I perceived from the game when I first played it. And honestly, I only been playing it for basically a day, and I want to give you guys my thoughts and heads up since I've been playing a lot of Mario Kart 8, and I already noticed a lot of different changes. They might be a lot of small changes, or a lot of people may not notice the changes, but I'm really close into details on a lot of different subjects, as I'm somewhat of a speed runner, and also I just noticed a lot of small things, and I find discoveries and things like that. So we're gonna dive into this video with a small little intro. I might get into other things as well, but this is gonna be a tiny intro, so I want to go ahead and talk about this. All right, so let's talk about the add-ins and takeouts of this game, and from things that we already know and things that we probably don't know. So as you guys can already tell, we have everything that's for DLC. So in Mario Kart 8, if you bought DLC and you bought the whole package, you will have this available in the Nintendo Switch version of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and you'll have all the characters listed here. Also, we have new characters as well. We also have Bowser Jr. making his appearance in this game, which I kind of confused why he wasn't in the first Mario Kart 8 release. I have no idea. All the Koopalings were there. Also made a funny joke that this was used to be called Koopa Kart because there was so many Koopas. So now adding Bowser Jr. made it more heavy on the Koopa Kart, but that's just being funny. But I'm glad to see him back into the game. Also, we have the Ink Kids, or the Inklings. Not a big fan of Splatoon, so this is kind of like meh. I'll probably never pick them because I don't really care for them. Honestly, that's just not my style of game, so I don't really care for it too much. They also have really great, awesome music, so I give them that for the music. But other than that, welcome to the game. Also, we got King Boo. King Boo has been in Mario Kart Double Dash, and I believe he's been in Mario Kart Wii. Was taken out at Mario Kart 8, and now he's making his appearance in Deluxe, so glad to see him back as well. And also, last but not least, we have Dry Bones, making his appearance as well. Was also in Mario Kart Wii, now is back in Deluxe. Again, kind of weird takeouts in the game. Just my opinion is kind of like why. Maybe they just didn't have enough time or memory space. I have no idea, but I'm glad they're all back. So, that's some add-ons. More characters. Let's go. More characters, the better. I mean, because there's just more variety. Also, I noticed that everybody been having this really big subject on fire hopping. Now, fire hopping is, I would say an exploit. I wouldn't say necessarily a glitch, because while boosting, and it doesn't matter how you're boosting, if it's a mushroom or maybe after a drift, you'll do like a little tiny series of hops. You will go faster, and a lot of people had, you know, their opinions about it, like saying like, oh, that's broken, that shouldn't be in the game, or a lot of people like it, and it made it like, it kind of separates the good from the bad, and people abuse it correctly. So I want to talk about, there's no fire hopping in this game. I have tested it. I have played on levels where I usually do normally fire hop, and it doesn't seem like it gives me any kind of boost. So that mechanic is completely out of the game. So like it or not, it's out the game. I don't care regardless. Mario Kart 8 is still a really fun game, so you guys should get over it. It's still a really good game. Get over it. But what they replaced it with is that instead of now in no fire hopping, they added this thing called a purple boost, or purple drift. And it's basically like how you do in Double Dash. Basically, if you get like the triple, I believe it's a triple. Well, basically, you just hold out your drift until you see the purple. And it does take a good minute, and a lot of drift, like a lot of corners you usually can take. You can't abuse the purple drift, but there's a lot of ways that you can kind of exploit it and use it to your advantage to make your normal boost with the orange boost, which is boost number 2, to transfer into a 3 to make some straightaways or some turns a lot faster. So I will be abusing this tech. There's many different ways you can use it, and it's kind of chaotic in a 12-man race because there's certain places you need to start drifting to get the optimal purple drift without losing too much speed. Because a lot of times, if you want to go for a purple boost, it's more worth it to go for an orange instead of drifting all the way out for a purple to go back in for a boost. That wastes time. So purple drift is in the game, which is I'm actually kind of hyped for. It opens up a lot of different pathways that you can actually take and changes a lot of 50-50 routes, which makes it now more which one you can get a better drift off of and use it to your advantage. So that's really awesome. I also noticed one thing too, since they got rid of fire hopping, I noticed that there's a little bit of a difference in air mobility. And I gotta do more testing on this. I'm not 100% sure exactly how it works, but there's some tricks like in Music Park. I usually use a drift on the tambourines, and for some reason, like it just feels different. Like I can't get my optimal drift there anymore with that technique. And so I'm gonna lab that a little bit more and see if that's actually true. It just felt really weird when I played it. I only played a level like literally once, so I'll probably go back and confirm more of that. But I feel like there's a difference in the air, which I think you're a tiny bit slower. I'm not sure that now being grounded is more worth it. So in case as fire hopping, where in the air while boosting it'll make you go faster, maybe they just nerfed the fact that only when you're boosting you're about normal speed while in the air. I'm not sure, but we'll research more of that. But I definitely do feel a difference in the air. That's just probably just me. So with that said, we're gonna go over to the items, which that's another thing to look at too. Now I know everybody was hyped for the double items are back now. Now let me tell you about the double items in this game, or the double item boxes, which is also hype. And another thing I found out with the double box item box, I know in Double Dash they spawn randomly. In this game, they're always in the same spot every single time. And there's some rings or lines of item boxes that will only just have a single, and there's some of them that will have only singles and doubles. And they're always in the exact same spot. So keep that in mind when you're racing. It's not going to always change. So for first lap, you see the item boxes are there. They're going to be like that lap 2 and 3. And they're always going to respawn as double item boxes, not anything else. So keep that in mind. Also, with the double item holder, now this is what's really strange to me. Since I'm already memorized the game to always drop or use coins right before the item box, they kind of like chain it. Now, in this version, now you can actually run to an item box. Not even doesn't have to get the double, because the double allows you to get 2 items at once without any items. In general, if you're already holding an item and you run into a double item box, it counts as you just adding 1 item, obviously, because you don't have any space. There's no 3 holders, there's only 2. Now, if you get 2 double single item boxes, that still counts as a double. As long as you're holding an item and run into any kind of form of an item box, you will automatically get a second item, which is pretty cool. Now, how this is different from other Mario Karts is that, like, in Mario Kart's Double Dash, I believe, I can't remember, I hadn't played Mario Kart, the other ones in such a while. You have to, like, so for example, like, your first item you get is a green shell, right? For you to actually get a second item, you have to back spam your green shell and hold it out and run through another item box and to have a second item box to pop up. In this game, it's a little bit different. It's whenever you holding an item, you just automatically get the second item no matter what. You don't have to hold the item back. You will get the second item regardless. So that's a little bit different. And for me, it took me a use to get used to. But you'll get used to it as you play. Also, another 2 things that they have settings for, if you notice that in the menu, they have these things called Smart Steering and Auto Acceleration. I opt not to use neither, because they enhance or change your original playstyle, which you already used to not using it, so don't use it in the first place unless you're really bad at the game and you need some kind of form of help. I think there are handicaps, but there are handicaps with limits. It's kind of like drifting. auto drifting in Mario Kart Wii, where you drift but you don't get a boost, versus where if you do it skill wise you get a boost and it's worth it. Similar things. Smart steering, basically if you're going off the stage, the smart steering will steer you back on stage as best as possible without you going off the stage. Now, with this I have an issue with, now in Mario Kart 8, there's a shortcut in Rainbow Road, the new version of the Rainbow Road, where you can actually drive off course onto the lower platform and do like a little tiny shortcut. Now with the smart steering, that prevents you from doing that because it wants you to stay on stage. It doesn't know that you're trying to go for a shortcut. It just knows that it's trying to keep you on stage. So keep that in mind when you're using these things. They can be really good, but I recommend not using it if you're decent. If you're really bad, then maybe. It's really good for, I guess, toddlers or people that don't really know how to stay on the road very often. It gives them a better chance of winning. But if you're basically can drive remotely on the stage, you don't need it. Also, with the auto acceleration, basically this auto accelerates you when you slow down. So if you get hit by an item, you hit a wall, the game will immediately start revving you up without you pressing the go button. Again, unnecessary. Again, it's good for like people that don't really know how to play the game. But don't use it if you are used to the game or whatever, because sometimes you want to stop, and not very often you would do that. But the fact that you have no control of stopping because you literally have to, you know, keep moving at some speed, it's kind of difficult, especially on some stages where, like, I think it's like Neon Bowser's Castle, the place with the rains. I remember stopping, and I was testing the auto acceleration, and the auto acceleration kind of pushed me off a little bit because I was trying to brake and stop before I fell off, and auto acceleration said nope. So it killed me. So that's just an example of don't use it unless you need it. And I guess smart steering can probably prevent you from doing that anyway. But anyway, that's just another topic. Also, 200cc time trial is also a thing. So now you can play time trials in 200cc. Yay! Yeah, that's just what it is. Now, also the new battle mode, which I'm hyped for because in Mario Kart Wii, I was really hyped for battle mode. Now, in this version, I haven't really necessarily played battle mode yet because I've only been playing against computers. I've been trying to grind the game out to get all the unlockables before I start going online and doing my thing. So, just really funny that that we got an old school battle mode back, which I'm really hyped for. So, I can't wait to grind that out and figure out some strategy guides for that as well. Because I used to be really good in Mario Kart Wii. Battle, like I was one of the best. Like I studied all the items, I knew what the strategy were, I knew what to do with each item, I knew all the places to go, places to rack up points, all that stuff. So hopefully I can transfer that into Deluxe. But we're not gonna talk about battle mode until we actually play it. That'll be another subject. Also, let's talk about this racing things in general. I have some concerns about that. Also, the fact that there's no fire hopping, that kind of eliminates a lot of areas in Mario Kart 8, where fire hopping is just useful and fast. Now, with the drift, you can't really... Fire hoppings are really good on straightaways while you're boosting, versus where purple drifting is only good when you're drifting, and after a drift, you can go really fast. Now, with fire hopping, you can also abuse it with boosters, because boosters allows you to boost where you can also jump around and gain speed off that, where the purple boosts that have you just gotta drift and use it. Now, those little places that I figured that fire hopping is really good in Mario Kart 8, now Deluxe is gone, is like Shy Guy Falls, where the little boost panels are coming down the waterfall. I forget what that stage is called. It's like the little cloud stage where the thunders are coming down towards the end. Fire hopping there was really good, now no longer a thing. Just giving you a couple examples of some areas that kind of got nerfed because of fire hopping being absent. Also, Royal Raceway used to be my favorite level just because I casually fire hop. That sounds really weird. But I'm so used to fire hopping on that level, and it made that level feel so smooth. Now, the fact that fire hopping is going, maybe that won't be my favorite level anymore. I'm not sure. It's still a really fun level to play on. But with the fire hopping, it just made the level feel so much smoother. And without it, It's a little bit slower of a stage now, and it's not too many places where you can abuse purple drifting. So I have to look into how that will play out in the future. So I definitely will be labbing up some purple drift places where you can optimally use it without losing too much speed or going out your way to get it. But it's just so good. So let's talk about first place. Now, I made this a separate subject because, like, people always like, well, first place is gonna be safe because you have 2 items and they can be shells and they can block stuff and all this great stuff. Now, let me talk to you about items as well as being in first place, because first place is obviously the goal, and first place is actually out of all Mario Kart games. It's really relatively safe in this game. Because you have a lot of defensive items that can counter a lot of aggression items that are coming through, like blue shells can get bodied by the Mega Horn, and you can't really deal with lightning at first, but everybody gets struck by lightning, so technically it's not really that much of an issue if everybody gets punished for it. But the fact that now I think the items are more aggro, because what I've noticed that since I'm in first place a lot due to playing in CPUs, I noticed that I've been getting bomb bombs. Now, bomb bombs were not a thing in Mario Kart 8 because I never noticed that. Well, I just never seen it before. Like, not even once. Like, rarely. Like, I sometimes get a red shell, but never bomb bombs. And bomb bombs in first place seems kind of broken because you can extend the lead by hitting nearby players with places. Like, if you're right on their tail and you're on a tight drift, they spam back a bomb bomb and they basically got a huge lead on you now, and since the bomb bomb has a really long stun, it can give them an advantage really quick. So the fact that bomb bombs are now in first place and you can get double bomb bombs in first place is kind of silly, but actually it's also kind of cool too because it makes first place more skillful and more ways you can actually abuse certain items, because there's not a lot of good first place items you can get. I mean, bananas are cool. Mega Horns are really good in first, but for the most part you'll be getting coins for the most part, and coins are not something that you want to see too much in first because it leaves you defenseless, and bombs add on another factor of defenses. And also triple bananas are also in first too, which I noticed that the aggression of the items have went up because you don't get triple bananas in first very often in the other one, if not any, and you definitely get it in this game. So something else to add more defenses to first place. Now let me go ahead and talk to you about how first place can get beat out more now. Now, since the items are a little bit more aggro and they still have the formula of distance, will also spam you more better items, not necessarily your place. That will cause more chaos for blue shells, lightning, and bullet bills and stars and bloopers and things like that. That pops up way more. Now I've noticed when I was playing this game, even against computers, I was getting bodied by so many lightnings and so many blue shells. Like, I literally got blue shell and lightning almost like twice every race, and it was ridiculous how often that happens. So, thinking that, oh, first place is going to be safe, I just be prepared to at least get by at least 1 blue shell per race. If not, you'll get hit by it twice, and it gives other players the chance to catch up. But also, since there's a little bit more aggression, you have more chances of getting horned. And since you have 2 items, it's more chances you can actually, like, kind of play out the field. Like, use the horn and then use, you know, and then still be have defense for like a red shell coming on with a banana or whatever. So that's just a little cool thought. Like, I just think that would be really interesting, that the fact that now first place can now get triple banana and bomb, and now they got more ratio of you getting bodied by lightning and blue shells due to the double items and a little bit aggro of the items. See you guys in the next video.